Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a few months since I last uploaded on here, but I'm finally here today to give you guys a tutorial on the Itadori Yuji pop-up box card that I made for TikTok and Instagram on Halloween last year. So it's been like 3.5 months. So I'm a little late, but I feel like it's better late than never. And also, I think this card is not necessarily limited to any season or holiday, so you can make it at any time for anyone, whether that's a friend, a significant other, or for yourself. It's just like a wholesome little craft, and it's just fun to look at and play with. Anyway, here are all of the materials that you're going to need for this video. You don't have to use the exact same measurements that I'm using. I'm just doing this just because these are the card sizes that I have on hand. But if you want to make it bigger or smaller, that's completely up to you. Obviously, the first step of the process will be to cut the picture of Itadori. I prefer to use an X-Acto knife for this process. I don't recommend using scissors. There's just a lot of fine details because the picture is only like 3 inches in height roughly, so there's a lot of fine details, and especially when you get to his hair spikes, you're not going to want to cut that with scissors. It's going to be a nightmare, so I recommend using a knife for that part. So these are the measurements that I'm using to make my box. Feel free to pause and make your markings. Once you're done with that, you're just going to grab your scissors or your knife and you're going to cut along the outline of the template you just created. And don't throw away the scrap pieces just yet. You're going to use them again later. So for this, you're not going to cut it. I'm not cutting the lines here. What I'm doing is I'm just scoring it. So I'm taking my knife and I'm applying just enough pressure to cut through a little less than halfway through the thickness of the cardstock along the lines that I drew in the order that I am showing it. And that way, when you fold it over, when you're actually assembling it, it's going to be a lot easier and it's going to look cleaner. Before you score the bottommost line where the rectangles are, you're actually going to cut through and separate those 4 rectangles since this is the top of the box. And then you flip it over and you score that bottommost line from the back side because you want the flaps to open outward, not inward. And then you're just going to assemble everything together. You're not going to glue it yet or anything like that. You're just going to fold it over to see how it looks like when the box is put together. Also, I didn't realize this until I was editing, but putting Gojo in the same frame while he's watching me make a box in front of him is such an elusive spoiler. It's kind of funny to think about. Next, you're going to take the actual card itself that you're going to be opening and closing, and you're going to score it exactly like you did with the box lines. So here I'm using my knife to make markings on the midpoint on either side of the paper, and then I'm taking my ruler to gently run my knife across that midway point. So when I flip it over and I fold it, it looks clean. Like, look at that pristine fold. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous. Taking one of the scraps from earlier, you're just going to create a small strip. This is going to slide through the box so that Yuji can stand upright. Starting with the square closest to the edge where the extra rectangular flap is, you're going to cut a little slit close to the edge but not quite on it, and then you're going to do that on the third box as well, close to the edge but not on it. So that way when you fold the box together, that piece of paper should slide straight across the box. And feel free to test out the process as you go. Try putting in that piece of paper, and if it doesn't fit, go back in with your knife to cut it a little bit wider or longer, and then just keep doing that until it fits properly. Finally, we're going to assemble everything together with the card and the box. So I forgot to film the part where I'm applying the glue, but you're going to put the glue on the little rectangular flap that connects the 4 squares together, and then also on the bottom of the triangular flaps. And then you're going to flatten it out and center it on the middle of that fold of the card, and then press down and make sure that it's nicely sealed and secure. And that way when you open it up, it should be a nice pop-up box. Feel free to also glue down the 4 flaps at the top of the box if you want it to stay still. I just like that extra 3D dimension, but it's up to you. And then you're going to take that extra strip of paper and slide it across the box. I feel like this could be done when it's in a flattened state and before you glue it down, but I chose the harder way, so I'm struggling a bit here. And then you're going to tape the bottom of his leg to that strip of paper that is slid across the box. I did add some glue to the back of his leg, but I feel like tape gives it some extra foundation, so it's less likely to flop over when you keep opening and closing the card. The last step of the process is just to decorate the card however you want. You can personalize it, add some kind of a message to it. Maybe you want to say like happy birthday, happy anniversary, I don't know. But other than that, I also like to add a little black border just because it looks a little plain with so much white. And then I go in with a crazy amount of stickers and I spam the hell out of it. But ultimately, it is your own artistic choice how you choose to decorate it. And this is the final result of the Yuji pop-up box card. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope the tutorial itself was helpful. I hope I don't disappear from YouTube again for like half a year. Hopefully I'll be more consistent. Anyway, till next time, bye!